We feel pretty lucky that we get to be the first ones to present this. I am Wendy Glenna. I'm down here in the Fayette department.
Ryan Glenna, also Fayette.
There he is. And then Mark just got here. He has been teaching at Fair for the last hour of the day, so we don't get to see him at the end of the day.
Very much.
But he's here in the health department. So we'll get going real quickly. All of this stuff, we do it all, but not at the same time. But I want to just start with the first one by experience. So we've got, 38 kids in a class, and, our goal is, hey, we're playing soccer this week. But we don't really care how well they play soccer. We want them to be running around, we want them to be engaged, we want them to be using their time in a way that they enjoy it. So one of the ways I would group the kids is by experience. I would say, if you have played soccer and you are such a good soccer player that you can teach soccer, come stand by this green cone. And it kind of be like a clothesline. So whoever's real experienced would be up by this green cone. It's always really funny to see who's the one that thinks they really know it all. On the flip side, you know what, we're real honest. We get it. Not everybody loves Fayette. If you're here to get the D- because you have to pass this class, that's fine too. But we need you out there with the team. Well, why don't you, we don't say it quite that mean, but why don't you come down to this red cone? If you know nothing about soccer, okay, something happened in middle school, your Fayette teacher wasn't good, you know nothing about soccer, come here. And then if you're somewhere in between, let's go here. We ask them to be honest. We say, you know what, you're going to have days where you can group with your friends, but today let's go by experience. Then we go outside and we have 3 separate fields for soccer. This group we can leave alone. They don't want us telling them anything anyways. This group we spend a little bit of time with, and then this group we start with and really help out just to get it moving. And it's usually a much slower game, so once it's moving, then we can put our attention in this one, and this is really where the kids need the love, because they need the motivation, because it's all there, it's just they haven't moved to this level yet. So that would be one day. Another day we'd say by competitiveness. If you are willing to risk your body to win this game of football, okay, you're going to be on this field today. Even if you're a super phenomenal athlete at this sport, but you don't want to be that competitive person, you're not going to throw anything on the ground if you don't win. Okay? If you're not the competitive person, then you're not going to want to be here. Okay, maybe you're going to be on this field where you're playing pretty good skills. You want to win, but you don't care. And again, we're not going to hold it against you if you're going over to this field, but we still want you moving, we want you active, and we're going to be in your space. We're going to help you out. So again, that would be a completely separate day. And then another day of just where you're comfortable. You know what, maybe it's a rainy Friday, it's really hot and humid out there. Where do you want to be today? Pick your field. All right, teacher-student pick. The more we get to know these kids, the more we know one kid can make a huge difference on a team. So we might just shuffle 1 or 2. Peer coaching. We usually do 6-day units. By the end of those 6 days, we'll take some of our kids that have gotten bored because they are really high here. We'll ask them to help out some of the kids that aren't getting certain skills. It works great. And then our iPad, the apps are awesome because we can just say we're picking 6 teams. We have nothing to do with it. We even show them we have nothing to do with it. This is what you get. Don't throw a fit. And that's how it goes. You're up, my friend.
Yeah. All right, scaffolding. So within our Fayette, our scaffolding might look, a little bit different, but it's very similar. The one thing I will say is that we're able to get a pretty quick snapshot of who can dribble a basketball and who can't, like just by seeing it quickly. So that might be where it's a little different. But we still scaffold it and kind of do the standards of effective instruction, if you remember that, if you've been around the district for a long time. I'm sure many of you do it without even knowing we're doing it. But the I do, we do, they do. So an example of how that might look within this area, the weight room area, so for my weight training class, I might have all the bars just set up on the bench with the benches within the cages, and I'd show them a bench press, let's say, okay? So I'm demonstrating it, I'm showing them what to do, then I might say, okay, everybody get a chance to just do a bench press on the bar. So that would be what we do. And then the day do, okay, now we're going to get 4 sets of 5 on bench press. Determining the weight that you think that you can do, as we've built up to that throughout the semester, throughout the quarter. So we're just scaffolding it in that regard. And again, with the weight training and some of our stuff, the differentiation is just how much weight they're putting in on the weight. So they're kind of able to control that. And I'm able to help guide them through that as well. The learning styles, we definitely hit on this, all 3 of them within our within our teaching all the time, like I'm sure many of you do. The visual, we have cards for weight training classes, also for circuit training. There's cards with the exercises actually on it. Within my weight training classes, there's pictures of the muscles that they're going to be working on during that day. During that workout. So we're just making sure that they know what they're working on within here, what muscles they're working on. I'll even have them say, touch your bicep, this is what we're doing today. We're working on our biceps today, and then there'll be a picture and we'll show that later on within here. Audio, hearing. Which muscle are you working on? You're working on biceps, and then I'll go around and ask you, okay, what are bicep curls working on? Tell me bicep, point to your bicep. Just different ways of trying to get them to get that ingrained in them so they know where their muscles are. Now, since it is not an anatomy class, I don't say what are the 4 muscles that make up your quadricep, but I'll say you're doing squats today, you're working on your quadricep, where are your quadriceps? Okay, and then they're able to show me, and just kind of trying to get them to really understand what muscles they're working on and where it's located on their body. And then the kinesthetic, just doing a proper squat using the correct form, showing all that and making sure they know what muscles and what they're working. That's just one example of how we use that. Another thing, visual, me showing or Miss Wendy showing an example of throwing a football, talking about the different points, pointing shoulders, stepping towards your target, things like that, and then them also doing that as well. So just making sure they're getting all the 3 different levels. Speed-up games, we're always modifying things. So the first couple of days, like for soccer, we play World Cup, where it's just, just everybody's like teams of 2, and it's an elimination game. But they're just playing a smaller version of the game. Eventually, we get to, 5-on-5, 6-on-6, whatever it is. But we're just trying to get. It might be basketball. You can't dribble the basketball. You can only pass it. So they're working on the skill of passing, but it's also they're working on basketball. So just another way to modify that. And then skill and drill. We're always doing skill and drill work throughout our units. So a little bit of time of each lesson. So might be like a warm-up type thing. Could be just a mini lesson thing. But we're trying to see those kids who might need a little bit more assistance. We're able to hit them during that time. Or have a kid who plays soccer. Hey, can you go help out this kid? To get some of that peer coaching in there. So.
And then a shout out to our made-up game that is really fun. It's not a basketball game, it's not a soccer game, it's Bocker. It's a combination of basketball and soccer. And it sounds horrible, but what's really fun is we've got really good basketball athletes and really good soccer athletes, and now we put them on the same field. And if the ball's on the ground, it's soccer. And if somehow they can flip it up to themselves, it's basketball. And if you score a basket, it's 2. And if you kick it in the net, it's 1. And it's great because maybe the basketball players are going really hard, and then the soccer player gets it and they get it down on the ground, and the basketball player can't get it because now it's on the floor, and it's competitive. And we don't always see those 2 groups of kids mixing, so they do. And that's just another way that we modify these games, because that's what differentiation is, just making it work. So the end goal is for us, these kids are active. We just want them active. That's it. Self-paced is huge. So we do circuit training every Thursday. It's a 45-minute workout. It's 18 strength training stations. It's 18 cardio stations. And it's self-paced. We tell them they have a minute at each station. Do what you can do and do it. One of my favorite things to do is they get graded on how many push-ups they can do at the end of the quarter. So every week I feel like I need to be teaching them push-ups, we need to be doing them. I give them a 5-minute time limit. Every minute they have to do a certain amount of push-ups. And I tell them to do between 2 and 20. So the first minute, they say to themselves, I'm going to do 2 push-ups. Okay? And then they've got 40 seconds, 50 seconds to rest. It's so frustrating for me, but it's up to them. And then the next minute, they'll probably do 2 again, and 2 again, and 2 again. And that's fine, that's that person. But then I've also got this person over here that's like, I can get 100 in. So they do 20 push-ups every minute. And that's 100. They get done with 100 push-ups in 5 minutes. Never, ever, ever would I tell a kid to do 100 push-ups. But if they tell themselves to, it gets done. So again, just a way of letting the kids decide what they're going to do. Teacher provides a goal. We say you need to do 20 repetitions of this exercise. We need you to run 4 laps. But maybe you're outside running a mile, and you can run that mile in a group of 4. And then they get to decide how to do it. So again, just giving them choices so it's not always us telling them you have to do it this way. The activity area is something we change all the time. So when I had this group, we have a full-size field. When I have this size field, we might have 2 goalies playing soccer. When I have this group over here, we shrink the field completely, and we might have the whole end line be goalies. Just to change it, just so that the kids are still moving, they're still playing, they're still definitely doing it, but they're doing it. And that's why we modify things, it's just to keep the kids active. Anything you want to add in the field size goals?
No, I think, just the number of participants, we're able to add more kids, less kids, more kids come back into the game if something happens. Also, the equipment that we use, we modify a lot. We have regular footballs that I might use at practice, and we have really light, squishy footballs that, we play with as well. So we just kind of modify the equipment and the sizes all the time. We're always doing that. So.
And I really believe that differentiation was made for our area because it's what we do all the time without it we didn't know it had a name until we started SOEI 9 years ago. Another really fun piece of equipment, come down to the gym, it's like you're holding a stability ball, a big rubber ball, and then you play volleyball with it. So you hit the volleyball with these things. Again, some kids hate hitting a volleyball because it hurts their hands, but now all of a sudden they've got this like kickball and they're using it to ricochet the volleyball. It just, again, differentiation was made for us, so we love it. Last thing is desired end goal. So today when we were playing Ultimate Frisbee, they had to do 5 passes, guys and girls had to touch it before it could be a score. Yesterday we just played Ultimate Frisbee, it didn't matter who touched it. But again, we just change it all the time based on what today's lesson looks like. We'll make modifications for tomorrow to get more kids excited, or at least we'll try.
All right, so we're gonna just kind of do a mini, so this might be a mini lesson. This might be something that I would have up in my weight training class. We try to get that visual. They know that they're working their pectoral muscles, so we're gonna say that I can perform 50 pectoral fly repetitions using correct form. So some different ways that is differentiated just based on equipment that we have within this space. And if you could turn around, that'd be great. I'm gonna ask for some volunteers. One way to do it. Okay, are these bands that we have, okay? So these bands, we have 4 different strengths within the rubber, okay? So one way, and this would be like a beginner, just a quick example, he just pops in my head right away, is Jack Anderson. Many of you know Jack. Jack, I have Jack, he's in my weight training class, 4th hour. Jack is on these bands all the time because they're a safe way for him to utilize and for him to get stronger and do the same exact list that everybody else is doing, just doing it with different equipment. Okay, so the red is the least resistance you're going to get, and I have it set up for you in case you want to do it in a little bit here. Okay, so an example of the pectoral fly will just look like this. Okay.
Yeah, coach.
You like that? So, maybe you're going to volunteer because I see you doing them all the time. Okay, so that's one way, and you're just going to go right down the line. There's different resistances. So the black one, for somebody who's more experienced, black resistance strength is going to be, tough, and you're going to be able to really feel it. So if you're a beginner, this might be where you want to start. Okay, another way. Sure.
So it looks just like the resistance bands, but this little thing is so fun. It's called a suspension trainer. And now we're going to do a fly again. But there's a lot of things I can do to change it. Pretty nice right here. Doesn't hurt at all. Well, hurt's not the right word. But if I step down here, now I have a much bigger challenge. So again, just this little yellow suspension trainer, we could differentiate basically any exercise. So
And if
again,
you didn't know that, Miss Wendy's a beast on the TRX. So if you ever want to get a great workout, she will take you through this and you will be crying home. But it'll take you crying. All right, another way. It's just on the bench, so one way. So it's the same exercise, working the same muscles, the same form. Only now he's on the bench, so this would be for a more experienced lifter because of just stabilizing. The muscles need to be able to stabilize the motion that he's making, okay?
and we should have gotten in the 90s.
We should, he's in here all the time too. And then now another way that we can do it to make it even a little harder and add the core a little bit more is on a stability ball. So it's the same motion, but now his core has to hold him up and he's working his core at the same time. Okay? Thank you. We'll get Schmidt on that. That's just later. So, Mr. Schmidt, can you go get the cable flash? He's the whole brand new way. Mr. Schmidt, come down. This is his. I see him doing it all the time.
Yeah, there's less kids, but there's.
All right, so this is cable flies. You're able to adjust the weight as much as your desired weight is. Okay, just by moving your yellow pins, so you can go real heavy or you can go really light. Just basically on his choice.
And then one more plug on this room is if you haven't been in a gym for a long time, they've changed significantly. There's no exercise that you cannot do. One of the things that I really pride myself on is every single kid does a pull-up. So this little thing right here allows me to do a pull-up. And an assistant pull-up.
Oh my God.
And again, it's so much fun to see kids get on those bands and just crush them because they've never done a pull-up because it's a really hard exercise.
Yeah.
So if you want to try these today, I can help you with those too.
So that's just, again, the weight room is really lending itself to it, but besides the amount of weight and the amount of reps and the amount of sets that you're doing, just the ability to do the different lifts different ways. They're the same lift, but they're just going in different ways. So that's what we try to hit and make sure, like she said, every kid is active and doing it. And another plug for this room is, this is for you. A lot of people aren't coming down here. Some of you probably didn't even know that this was located right here. So you're able to come in before or after school, and utilize it. It's free for you. Miss Wendy, again, she can take you through a ton of workouts. I'll help you out as well if you need help, or just a space for you to utilize. Okay, so if you can, it's free.
What time?
Before or after school. Yep.
How early?
Well, as early 5:30 the building opens. Right?
And
So
then
you can be here 5:30.
the only other thing is, as the school year goes on, we get to know these kids so much better, and then the differentiation is so much easier. And the more educated we are, the more wisdom we have about these kids, the more differentiation we can make, and the better we get at it. So this is, again, up to week 4. This is kind of where we're at, but we're just going to keep getting better at it. Anything else?
Questions? Yes.
So, staff can come in and see about you guys' presence.
Oh, yes.
Presumably it's locked.
No, it's not. That's fake. It can, like, the alarm could be on, but I'm here pretty early and I'm here pretty late too, so we can definitely, but, any engineer can turn it off as well, but sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not.
Am I correct that during basketball games, students won't be in this area?
Right, so during basketball, yeah, so Mr. Perkins, basically, like, you gotta get out of the building. Now, there will be times where there will be students in here, especially like in the winter, like my football kids will be here a certain time, but I have no problem.
Are there showers where kids cannot come into?
There are showers, but we can lock the locker rooms. So whenever I'm showering, I lock the locker rooms, so put a sign to not open the locker room.
Does it have 3 minutes, you think, before we have to send them upstairs? Sure, of course. Absolutely. All right, please, don't leave this room for 3 minutes. Again, we're not going to tell you what to do, but look around, play around, ask us questions.